All right, everyone, I want to welcome you again to the Corner Office Chronicles podcast. My name is Byron, and I am your host. Today, we have a special guest. He's a serial entrepreneur. He's doing great things. I had a chance to connect with him, and we have something planned where we'll keep in touch. I'd like to welcome everyone to Franco Hernandez. He has a company, theater, and I want everybody to know what he has going on. So if you don't mind, could you please introduce yourself, sir?
Thank you so much, Byron. Thanks for reminding me to the Corner Office Chronicles podcast. Well, my name is Franco. I have more than 13 years working in tech and products in different companies, from fintech to e-commerce and education also. My last position was as CPO in Corehouse, one of the fastest growing Latin America digital tech schools. And now, since 3 years ago, I've been, as you mentioned, an entrepreneur. My first project was a digital tech school. Now we are focused on teaching AI to small and medium companies. I am also an investor in two different industries. One is also EdTech. It's called Go for Click. It's a platform to build your own digital school. And the other one is called Smart Foods. It's focused on adaptation food and on in all the biohacking field. And my last project, and I think the project that really takes my heart, is a project that we co-founded with my girlfriend also. It's called Ether. And in Ether, we are focused on the creators economy, building community-led businesses. But apart from that, our main focus is to empower people through knowledge, through technology, with different tools to empower their transformation journeys, right? We are mainly focused on wellness and professional growth fields.
Okay, okay, wonderful. You're doing great things now in your business, which I have to commend you on. I have to ask, you were doing big things working for other people and companies, working for other people's companies. What empowered you? What was the catalyst to make you want to do your own thing?
That's a good question, Byron, because during the pandemic, I got my dream job. I call it as a CPO in Corehouse, because I really to go on education. I really want to give to people more knowledge, and also CPO was at the moment for me my roof, like, right, as. But at the moment, when I got the job a few months later, I started feeling empty. I started feeling that I can achieve more, right? I build my own projects, but the main catalyst was that I really feel empty. I feel that I didn't have purpose at that moment. So I started the journey to find my purpose. I use at the moment the Ikigai tool, the Japanese tool. I also use the T-learning tool to know more about my strengths, my weaknesses too also. But the key moment was one day I was walking during the pandemic with my dog, and I was listening to a podcast of Jim Quick, the boy with the broken bay, like he was called in his childhood. He's a specialist on how to improve our brains, and he was in a podcast with Shay Shetty, one guy from London who go to a Buddhism retirement, and then and now he's teaching about the Buddhism, and they were talking about purpose, right? And they got a definition that I really like it. That was when in our life, human beings, we are curious, right? Like, naturally, we are curious. But when we explore that curiosity, we find our passion. But where is the key? When we put our passion to service to others, that becomes our purpose. At that moment, when I listened to that, as I mentioned you, I was walking with my dog, completely silence on the street, because we were on pandemic. Argentina was one of the countries with the most restricted lockdown. And something clicks on me. I realized that, yeah, I really love teaching. I really love technology. I really love empower people. So at that moment, my phrase of my purpose came to my conscious immediately, and it was empower people through knowledge. So at that moment, a few months later, I decided to quit my job, and I meet one person, my partner of my first project. He's Manuel Zbar. He's a very well-known businessman in Argentina, and he offered me to. He has a business school from 20 years ago, and he offered me to build together a digital tech school. So yeah, I said yeah at that moment, and he said me a phrase that I remember always, and it's something that I used to inspire others. He said me, "Yeah, Franco, I know you love teaching, but yeah, you have a roof teaching because you are just one person with a limited time, right? But if we together build a philosophy of school, we build a team of A players, of professors, we can reach your vision of education to thousands and thousands of people." So at the moment, I say, yeah, we had a handshake, and we started with this adventure.
Okay, wonderful. So tell us, you gave us a brief introduction of Tears. Give us more in depth because I know you want to teach a lot of people. Ultimately, what's the main goal of Tears? What are we trying to teach them? Let's give a more background.
Yeah. Well, I started teaching in the different companies that I work for. I really believe that a company must be and like a school, right? Well, everyone teach other what they know about it. So I started in my different companies. The first company that I started teaching was in Despegar.com or Decolar.com. It's a very well-known company it's an online travel agency. And I started teaching about web analytics, right? How to study the journey of the users to improve user conversion. At that moment, I was invited by IBM to Tampa in Florida to teach, to talk about a success reference case in Latin America, in how in Despegar we improve the journey and the conversion rate of the users. And a few months later of that, I started teaching in ColorHouse, the company that I was the CPO. That was in 2017. Then I was the CPO in 2020. But at that moment, I started teaching about digital product management to product managers of head of products that they want to improve or growth in their career or improve their products, and also people, mainly product managers, that they want to be entrepreneurs. So I started teaching them how to study the market, how to find a suitable problem, how to validate solutions, and how to launch their products.
Okay. All right, definitely. Now, they're different sides of it. We spoke off air. Tell us more about I know there's community-led business side of it, and there's also an audience-first side of it. Let's speak a little bit about the community-led business side of it.
Right. I think it's a very interesting topic because I think it's a new model or a new kind of business that we are facing right now. But I think it's merging two kind of businesses, that one it had a long time ago and the other one is new. The older model of business is the model of memberships, right? Because when we bought the newspaper a few years ago, we have a membership. We pay a monthly rate to receive or to have the delivery of the newspaper to our homes, right? Internet, our cell phones, Spotify, Apple Music, we are full of memberships or subscriptions models, right? But from the other side, and also in education, or maybe most than education, because I think education must be used to transformation, to growth, right? So I think that is when we focus, or what we focus on the community-led business, because people on their own path, they can go to, or they can grow to a point, right? But we do it on community, we do it together, we have a clear purpose, a shared purpose, or a shared goal. I think that increase a lot the possibilities of growing, right? So the community-led businesses are, in a short phrase, they are businesses that they grow for the community growth, right? Because instead of focus on content, because nowadays with AI, it's more easy than ever to build content or to create content. So content is not the key. It's not the key. Maybe it's the king in social networks, but it's not the key, right? So the community-led business is focused on, yeah, we share content. Maybe the creator, we work with creators. The creators, they have a lot of knowledge, they have a lot of experience. They are exchanging time for money, right? So they are full of one-on-ones, and very related as the situation that when I decided to be an entrepreneur, when my partner said me, well, Franco, you love teaching, but if we build a school, we can impact thousands of people instead of a few hundred, right? So when the creators realize that if they build a community of people with a shared goal, well, when he's the leader, right, of the community, and people empower each other, they start cooperating, they start sharing knowledge, I think we activate something bigger that is the how to say it in English, I think we activate the collective intelligence, right? And I think that's the most powerful thing that we are seeing in the community-led businesses.
Okay. What about the other side of it, the audience? The audience first side of it.
Yeah, that's I think that's a very interesting topic, sorry, because social networks are built, as Tim Cook said, when the product is free, you are the product, right? So yeah, we can use the social networks, we can consume a lot of content, but the creators, they are not receiving enough money for all the knowledge they're sharing, right? Facebook and Instagram, they have a lot of content, but they don't build content. The creators do it, and then people consume it. So when you have an audience, or when you have a lot of followers in social media, that, as you said, we have an audience, not a community, because it's from one side to another. Me as a creator, I share knowledge. Maybe you can comment in and send me, oh yeah, thank you so much for your content, or maybe I have some opinion, but you don't have a business, right? The business is for Meta. The business is for TikTok. They have the business when sell to others the possibility to make ads, right? So, and if someday, for example, in the wellness industry, for example, we are seeing a lot that there are interest from the pharmaceutical, from the food industry, right? That they don't want us to be healthier, yeah? So when we talk about something maybe controversial on social media, the creators start losing reach, right? And maybe they can be close their account, and they have been working so many years to build that followers, to be that audience, and maybe one day they wake up and they don't have nothing, right? So the key is to own your audience, own your data, own your community, right? And that's, I think, is one of the main values, to start offering people, a safe space, when, we share goals, we share community, we share purpose, and we can talk without restrictions, right? Because we are a private community, when the rules are set by the community, not by the social media influenced by the food and the wellness industry, for example.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. Let me see another question. Let's see. Now, we spoke about targeted, who knows, maybe even millions, who knows, with the internet's big world out here, right? Who's the target audience? You know, when we think about targeting services and products, who we looking to get in touch with?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. To respond to you, I will talk. I will tell you about the initial steps of Ether. At the time when we found the problem, right? We found maybe the good practice of building a business.
Well, I think we got disconnected. Can you start from the top again? I think we got disconnected. Can you start from the top again?
Yeah. I'm back. I'm back. Yeah. Perfect. Well, To respond your question, Byron, I think I want to relate the initial steps of Ether. At the moment, I know that, of course, the good practices of building a business is to focus on just one problem, right? And we saw that problem. The problem that we are focused on is creators. They are full of one with a big audience, but they are exchanging time for money, right? But on the other side, we see that people, and for example, in Latin America, and we see it also in Spain, in Europe, they don't trust on the traditional education, universities, and also they don't trust on the traditional health services. Yeah, so we see both problems. So that was the reason that we are just focusing on health and growth and professional growth, right? And to build the audience, one of the key, and I am going to use the phrase of Borja Vilaseca. He's a Spain guy. He said, personal brand is the curriculum of the 21st century, right? We all have a personal brand, right? Because, for example, the way you feel after our conversation, it talks about my personal brand, right? Yeah. Every touch point that you have with people talk about your personal brand. So yeah. I realized that a few years ago. So, and I always try to be nice with people, to be something that, or someone who people remembered well, right? Because people, they don't remember what you said. People remember how you feel, how you them feel. Yeah. Absolutely. So when we started Ether, we started with just one MVP of a keto community in Argentina. We have 10,000 people in just 7 days. So we said, well, we have something there. And then the word of mouth, without investment, without social media, without nothing, the word of mouth start talking about us, right? Well, there are two guys. One is Franco. He's a very well-known guy in tech and product and startups and entrepreneurship. And Gina, my partner, and also we are the co-founders of Ether. She works a lot in politics and in human rights and in empowered communities. So our previous experience talk about us, our values talk about us. Then instead of going to found the audiences, we focus just on working with the right creators, and they have the audiences. Mm-hmm. So our focus and our process is we have a 7-step process where we focus mainly on know people, on study people, and on maybe from a product perspective in product discovery, right? To define the ICP of each community, find what they value more, then launch the MVP of the membership, but also we launch challenges and courses and programs to empower people. So our focus is to know the people who follows the creators, and then from that side, we reach the audiences. So that was one of the key things that allows us to scale to more than 33,000 members in less than 1 year without ads, 100% organic, because we focus on the right things, right?
Wonderful. That's very enterprising endeavor. So I have to ask, did you have mentors that maybe show you that this is possible? Did you have I've had my share of mentors. How important do you think mentorship is when it comes to something like this? Have you had mentors in the past?
Yeah, that's a very, very good question, Byron. I think that, of course, we must, or we should have mentors. But apart from having mentors, and I'm going to tell you about some key points there, but I think that the biggest mentor, it must be us, right? I think that I have been working on my personal growth since 2018, more or less, when I was living in Bogota. That's when I'm right now. I live in Buenos Aires in Argentina, but now I'm in Bogota. But at that moment, I realized about biohacking, right? I discovered Dave Asprey and Greg, another guy who talks about Ben Greenfield and all of them. So I realized that I was very obsessed about productivity, but at that moment I discovered another way to do it. I think the most important thing is well-being, and if you focus on well-being, you are going to be more productive. And with the right tools like AI and technology, you can be more productive also. And then being productive is going to give you more creativity, right? So for me, it's a growth virtuous cycle, right? It's wellness, productivity, and then creativity. But during all of these years, I have many mentors. During my career in work, I have mentors who, I think, apart from the knowledge they give me, I think the most important thing that my mentors give me was they trust on me, right? And I think trust is the base of everything. It's the base of the team, and it's the base of a relationship with your partner. I think it's the base of everything. So I have mentors who believes on me, who teach me at the moment about product of growth and analytics. For example, in Despegar.com, Despegar.com was a school for me, a product school for me also. And then during the last few years, I can proudly say that people or creators that we are working right now in Ether. One was my psychologist and my mentor during pandemic, when he was just 3,000 followers. He has at the moment 3,000 followers on Instagram. Now he has more than 2 millions.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I really see on him an example of be constant, of discipline, and be constantly. So in just a few years, he moved, as I mentioned, from 3,000 to more than 2 million.
Wow.
And he was my psychologist at that moment. Then we work in some biohacking experiences when I teach how to use the data of the trackers to improve our well-being, our habits. And then two more of the creators that we are working now in Ether. One was my mentor on personal brand and LinkedIn growth, and the other one was my coach. So I can probably say that the creators that we are working in Ether, we really believe on them, because three of them were my mentors.
Okay. So how do you stay above? How do you stay current with the trends and the shifts in the industry? You know?
Yeah, I think that's a very interesting question, Byron, because I think that maybe nowadays, because of social media, we are very focused on trends. And I think, yeah, they are important. But for me, one of the key that allows me to be constantly growing and constantly observing from a holistic perspective the world, and I think that's one of them. One of my main advantages, that I can see a holistic view of the world. And I think that we must focus more on the knowledge without expiration date, right? The timeless mental models. So 80% of my decisions are with timeless mental models, right? Like the Pareto law, like the 1% improvements. So I mainly focus on the things that don't change, right? And Elon Musk talked about a lot about it, because he said, yeah, we are only focused on trends instead of the first principles, right? So I think the first key is to focus 80% on first principles and timeless mental models. And the other 20%, contrarily, and of maybe we can think on the first move, I don't read so many news. I tried since pandemic, I don't read news. I just follow different creators that I share values, that I share a vision of the world, and I try to be informed by them. So I really limit my income information right now. And yeah, of course, I read a lot of books, the books that I really want. I read a lot in Medium, the platform. I consume information from LinkedIn instead of Instagram and TikTok. So I really shift my mind to focus on the right content instead on just following the trends that they are changing a lot. Yeah, and the world, I think, is really messy now. So I think it's key to focus on the right things.
I think so too. Let me ask you. to the military. Do you think your background in product management has helped you with your endeavors and make you maybe look at the full picture more? Maybe you look at things more from a product perspective, and that includes the customer's perspective as well. But just a different. How has your foray into product management affected how you conduct your business?
It's a very interesting question, Byron. Thanks for asking me. Because yeah, I started. I discovered I'm my 7 years old. One day when I broke my dad's computer and I had to fix it, that I love technology, right? So I started on my 13 years old. I built my own projects, repairing computers and selling computers. Mm-hmm. Then when I started working in companies, I work as a developer. So I have a very strong background in technology, right? And I think technology is growing since that moment and in all the human history, right? The fire, for example, was the first technology, because when the human discovered the fire, right? We at that moment we discovered how to survive to the winter, right? So I think technology is in everything right now. And my background in technology, and then when I work in Despegar, I mainly focus in user experience and data analytics. So I think a good product manager must know about technology, user experience, and data. And then I added also the business perspective. Yeah. So mixing all of that, it allows me to grow very fast in the product field. At my 23 years old, I was a product manager in a company. So it allows me to have a lot of responsibilities very soon. And all of these learnings shift me a holistic worldview, right? Mm-hmm. So to be an entrepreneur, I think, yeah, we must have a holistic view about business, tech, user experience, data, knowing people, and also soft skills to communicate, right? Because we can have the best product in the world, but if we don't know how to communicate, yeah, we are going to lose the way. So, of course, being a product manager or maybe a mini CEO, right? That is called in some articles. It helps me a lot to be a best entrepreneur.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you another question. Has this particular business endeavor made you think of what's next? You want to create any more businesses after this?
Yeah. One maybe it's an strength and a weakness, yeah, right, of me, because I need to consciously stop focus on the future, right? to be more focused on the present. But yeah, I'm saying the next step. I would really want to build a new kind of venture capital, but not a commonly venture capital. I want to have a mainly called venture capital, but focus on help entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs only in the health and growth businesses. So yeah, I think that the next step, and with all the learnings during this year in Ether, when we are constantly studying people, knowing a lot about people, trying all the time different solutions, and I think all of this learning. And I'm also a mentor in different schools for entrepreneurs. So I'm constantly talking with entrepreneurs, helping them in their businesses and in their growth. And I want to have my own venture capital or my own foundation to help only projects and businesses that they are focused on health and professional growth. So yeah, I think it will be the next step on my career.
Okay, definitely. So we mentioned AI and how it could be used to help create content and things of that nature. How do you think AI will affect the future of product management?
I think it's affecting it a lot, and I think in all industries, right? Because I love the phrase of Sam Altman. Yeah, AI, it won't replace you. People using it, yeah, right. So I think in all the fields, AI is becoming very, very important. But in product management, I think that one of the problems of product management, it was the operation, right? To maybe to read a lot of surveys to the audiences or to your users, to analyze the product journey or analytics. So I think AI, if you use it not to replace you, right, but to reduce the operation, to have more time to creativity. And I think that's the key of the human, is to be more creative. Albert Einstein said that the most powerful skill of the human beings is creativity, right? So I think we can use it to analyze service in the fastest way. We have to use it to write the product requirements in a faster way. We can use it to find new product opportunities or to product discovery in a faster way and in more efficiently way, right? So we can have a lot of less time on those tasks to use our time to focus on, well, how to find new solutions, how to improve our value proposition, how we can improve, or how we can talk more with people, right? So I think it's going to change a lot, and I think it's not going to also to kill the profession. I think it's also to improve it, right? So and in Ether, we are just both, now we are three in the team, but for 1 year we are just two people doing all the stuff, building the communities, knowing people, making the service, building the products, managing everything, just two people with the use of AI. So we can focus all the time on the important, right? As Brian Tracy said, the principal stuff is to focus on the principal stuff, right?
All right. Let me ask you another question. Let's say from a company, and we mentioned that it's more than just about connecting with people. So let's say from a company that's more sales based, how can they move into more of a product led growth situation?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question, Byron. I made a survey on my LinkedIn a few months ago to people, and I asked them, what do you prefer to buy a product? Talk with a salesman or buy and test it by your own? 80% of people respond that they want to buy by their own without a salesman assistant. Wow. And this reflects, right, the importance of have a good user onboarding and the way to use the product without talking with someone. So the first key is, I think, this is that. But from the other side, on how to move from sales-led to the product-led growth company, I think that the first step is to allow people to try, right, your product without talking with someone. I think that the key is to maybe have a freemium model, maybe have a free trial, right? But you have to allow people to try your product, because your product must talk with you. We are full of promises. Yeah, I have the best product, I have the best solution, and people, yeah, they don't trust. People trust when they can try it, right? So the first key, I think, is that. And then the other key to be really a product-led growth company or a product-led company, how to move, right, from a sales-led, I think, is to have a product obsession to improve constantly your product. So instead of investing all the time on ads and gain people or users because you are showing your solution all the time, I think the best way to grow is because your users or your members or your clients recommend to others.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can do it for free, right? Or you can do it because people do it organically. But if you use a referral program, right? So your clients receive something, maybe more use of your product, then you can grow organically thanks to have a reward to your clients for the word of mouth, right? So I think that's the other key that is very related with the other one, right? Because you can try the product for free. Maybe if you want to use it, you can onboard yourself, and then if you like it and you come back, you can refer to others and receive something to continue using the product.
Yeah, yeah. The thing about this Zoom is it cuts off in 40 minutes, so it's going to cut off in about 2 to 3 minutes. Let me ask you, if anyone wants to reach you, how can they do so?
Well, yeah, my main network is on LinkedIn as Franco Tadeo Hernandez. On LinkedIn is my favorite social network. I publish mostly every day there. I have also a TikTok account and an Instagram account, but I don't use it so much because of all the things that I was mentioned. And I also have my free community that is called Limitless Mindset 1%. And there I send a daily email to the community members. And I just recently launched my mastermind, that is a membership when we talk with entrepreneurs, we talk about AI, businesses, product growth, community-led businesses, and how to improve ourselves with biohacking too. And in all of that places, you can find me.
Okay, we'll see about maybe adding a link to this particular this particular video. Let me ask you before we go, because we got just 1 minute left. Any advice for up and comer product leaders, product managers? Do you have any tips?
Yeah, I think the main tip that I can give to product managers maybe is an old phrase from Yuri Levine: "Get in love with problems, not with solutions," because 8 of 10 solutions, they are not going to give value to your users. Just 2 of 10. So focus on problems, focus on knowing people, focus on improve yourself,